There are 3 ways to complete the experiential training program. Number 1, articling. Number 2, the law practice program in English or the Programme de pratique du droit in French. Or number 3, the integrated practice curriculum or IPC. In this section, we are going to focus on the law practice program. The LPP is delivered in English by Toronto Metropolitan University. The University of Ottawa delivers the French language program. If you choose to attend the PPD, the French language program, and you have not previously studied law in French, you will need to successfully complete a French language test that is administered by the University of Ottawa. The LPP or PPD runs for a total of 8 months. It consists of a 4-month training course and a 4-month work placement practical component. For both the LPP and PPD, the training course begins towards the end of the summer and runs until December. The work placement portion of the program begins in January and runs until the end of April. Both the LPP and PPD are based on the National Competency Profile, which has been established by the Federation of Law Societies of Canada and has been adopted by all law societies across Canada for lawyer licensure. These competencies set out the most critical and frequently performed entry-level tasks for lawyers. The training program portion of the LPP and PPD is meant to simulate the practice of law and is conducted in a structured, performance-oriented training environment. It involves dynamic activities that will require you to interact with clients, lawyers, and work providers in a variety of different practice areas. There's also extensive involvement with the legal profession in the LPP or PPD. This comes in the form of instructors, mentors, and assessors who are active in the training program and in the work placement component. The work placement portion of the LPP is a 4-month-long practical component. The work placement is an opportunity for students to apply what has been learned in the training portion of the program in an actual legal practice setting. The LPP and PPD providers will work with you to determine what your interests are, and they will use their best efforts to assist you in finding a position to reflect those interests. Obtaining an LPP/PPD work placement is like obtaining an articling placement in that it is a competitive process. You can expect that your resume will be reviewed and assessed and that you may be selected for an interview. Interviews would generally be conducted by the work placement supervisors or others at the firms to which you are applying. The formal recruitment process is supported by Toronto Metropolitan University or the University of Ottawa. Both Toronto Metropolitan University and the University of Ottawa have web pages for their programs, and we link to these on the Law Society website. The program websites include quite a bit of detail on what to expect, how the programs work, and what the expectations are of students and providers within the program. We encourage you to review this information as part of your preparation for the licensing process and for making your selection on an experiential training path when you apply to the licensing process. Some candidates have questions about their rights of appearance while articling or in the LPP or PPD. The Law Society governs who may provide legal services and the scope of those legal services, and it's important that you understand what you are permitted to do as a candidate who's completing a work placement term in the LPP or PPD. During a work placement, you may appear on certain matters before courts and tribunals. Before you make any appearance on any matter, the first step you should take is to consult the Rights of Appearance page on the website, which provides a detailed list of the types of matters you can appear on. In addition to ensuring that your matter falls within that list, you and your principal or supervising lawyer must ensure that the lawyer's attendance is not necessary, that you're adequately supervised and properly prepared, and that the matter is appropriate for your level of training, experience, and ability. Please note that Ontario courts and tribunals are entitled to control their own processes, so although the Rights of Appearance page sets out certain matters on which the Law Society permits candidates to appear, it is always advisable to consult any applicable enabling legislation, rules of practice, rules of procedure, and practice directions. You should also contact the court or tribunal in advance whenever possible to obtain express permission to make an appearance. After you've read the web page, if you still have questions about your rights of appearance or would like some clarification, please feel free to contact the Licensing and Accreditation Department through LSO Connects. When you do make an appearance, you are also obligated to identify yourself as an articling student or LPP PPD work placement candidate. You may also use the term student at law. If you've completed your experiential training requirement, are not subject to a good character investigation or hearing, and you would like to continue to provide legal services before you're called to the bar, you may do so under supervision for up to 6 months by completing an initial supervision agreement with your supervising lawyer. You must use the initial supervision agreement form provided on the Law Society website, and you do not need to submit the agreement to the Law Society. But if, following that 6-month period, you wish to be supervised for up to another 6 months, then any further work must be done under the supervision of a principal approved by the Law Society. To qualify for an extended supervision agreement, you must complete an extended supervision service request in LSO Connects, which includes submitting an extended supervision agreement signed by you and your supervisor for the Law Society's review and approval. You can find a copy of the extended supervision agreement form on the Law Society's website. Note that in total, candidates are only permitted to work under supervision agreements for a maximum period of 12 months. Please consult the supervision agreements page on the Law Society's website for more information about initial or extended supervision agreements. If you have any questions about enrolling in the LPP or PPD, please consult the Law Society and program provider's website. You may also contact us by sending a message through your LSO Connects account.